Smashes and crashes and explosive engines saw us finish Brands Hatch weekend for the last meeting of the British Truck Racing Championships. But here we are at sunny South Wales at Pembrey Circuit. Welcome to the British Truck Racing Championship.
The grid reads as follows. The front row for race 1, Ryan Smith in number 1 and number 7, Stuart Oliver. Two men with 17 British titles between them. Second row, the two MANs of number 69, David Jenkins, and 3 of Stephen Powell. The third row, the youngest man on the grid, Bradley Smith in the 46, alongside Simon Reed in his Iveco. Row 4, Michael Oliver, son of Stuart, in the number 12 MAN, and number 68, Craig Reed, the second of the brothers in the Iveco Stralis. Row 5, the two Scotsmen, Jock Borthwick, number 32, and 86 of Tom O'Rourke with his MAN. On the 6th row of the grid, we have number 95, Ricky Collett, the man from Yorkshire. Great to see Ricky Collett back out after his engine blow up in the first round at Brands Hatch. He lines up alongside number 92, Simon Faulkner, with his Iveco. The final row of Division 1, 41, Simon Cole, used to race the Mercedes-Benz, or the Mercedes Beast as he called it, in Division 2, lines up alongside number 14, John Bowler, another Division 2 graduate, with his MAN. Then there's a gap of a couple of rows, and then we've got the Division 2 trucks, headed up by John Powell, number 6, in his DAF, alongside Adam Bint, our camera truck, with the Volvo White Aerodyne. Then we've got number 10, Craig Evans, still looking for his first win, Division 2, in his MAN, alongside Paul Rivett, the former British touring car racer and Renault Clio multiple champion, with his MAN. That's the Napa Auto Parts sponsored truck. And at the back of the grid, number 28, Gentleman Jim Bennett in his venerable Seddon Atkinson. Form up 2 by 2, then down Speedway Straight, up to the flick of Carter's Curve, then onto Honda Curve. About to start our first truck race of the weekend here at Convoy Cymru. Ryan Smith and Stuart Oliver lead them round. This will be a 15-minute race for the British Truck Racing Championship of 2023. The revs beginning to rise then. And Ryan Smith starts as he means to go on. Is it going to be Stuart Oliver, or will we see a new winner? Powell and Bint divided the Division 2 wins at Brands Hatch. The pace truck is into pit lane. Here we go. They're almost ready to go racing on the Pembrey circuits. Waiting for the red lights to go out. Here we go. The power comes on and we're underway. Convoy Cymru is go. Side by side between Smith and Oliver. Down towards Hatchett's hairpin for the first time. It's going to be Ryan Smith who takes the early lead. Stephen Powell comes barrelling down the outside in the MAN. One of the Reeds is up there as well in the Iveco. They fling their way through the hairpin. There's contact already. Bradley Smith made a bad start. He's been clipped by Jock Borthwick. 3 into 1 didn't go through the hairpin for the first time. Everybody else looks to be round okay. I think Adam Bint is leading in Division 2. It's Ryan Smith from Stuart Oliver. Stephen Powell with a good start up into third place in the HGV Direct MAN as they head out towards the back of the circuit for the first time. David Jenkins is in 4th place. They've broken away as a result of that schmozzle further back at the hairpin. Bradley Smith has been able to hold 5th position in the number 46, then Jock Borthwick. 7th is Michael Oliver. We've got a tangle at the back. That's Ricky Collett and Tom O'Rourke. They've gone onto the rallycross course on the infield. Now we'll see if we can see what happened further back. And Tom O'Rourke goes straight into the side of Michael Oliver. So that's what happened. He went spinning out. Oliver saved it. And Ricky Collett had nowhere to go. Went off rallycrossing. Still leading Division 2 is Adam Bint. He's going well up there in, well, he's in 8th overall now. He's picked up another place. I think we've lost Michael Oliver, that's why. He's not come through on that lap. So Michael Oliver in problems. We're on board with Adam Bint. He's won here in Division 2 several times in the past, and the lead gap has come down a little there. A little? It's come down a lot, because Stuart Oliver now right on the tail of Ryan Smith. Whether he's had a moment out on the back of the circuit there, I'm not sure, but Stuart Oliver's caught him. They come through to complete lap number 3. It wouldn't surprise me if Stuart Oliver gets the fastest lap this time through. He's going for the lead. Over the line they go. Yes, Ryan Smith lost 2 seconds on that last lap, so I'm not quite sure what happened there for the Daimler Freightliner, but Stuart Oliver's ready to attack for the lead. Down into the right-hander hairpin at Hatchett's, and the two MANs closing up as well of Powell and Jenkins. There's only less than 2 seconds covering the top 4 now. It was 2 seconds covering the top 2 last time through. Ryan Smith getting back up to speed then. I thought he had a problem towards the end of that lap. He backed up dramatically, but now he's pulling away again. 2 trucks into the pits on that lap. Michael Oliver's pulled in, so has Ricky Collett after that tangle on the opening lap, so it looks like they're out of it. Tom O'Rourke is still going, I think, but a long way back. coming up to complete their 6th lap. Here are the leaders, and Stuart Oliver's closed in again a little. Yep, he's going to have another go at Ryan Smith for the lead. They're clear to the tune of nearly 3 seconds of Stephen Powell in that 3rd place. Simon Reed up the inside, up the hairpin, he goes through. Nicely done there. Tricky to get 2 trucks side by side through Hatchett's hairpin. Well, it's such a tight corner, it's tricky to get 1 truck through there. Smith pulls away a little once again. He seems to have the advantage in a straight line, but Stuart Oliver able to close up a bit more in the twisty bits. Now Paul Rivett having a go at Simon Cole in the more powerful Division 1 MAN. Paul Rivett, a lot of experience in saloon car racing. He's a multiple Renault Clio Cup champion. He won't get round the outside at Senna though, I don't think. And this could allow John Powell to attack in the 6. He's up alongside as they come through towards Brooklands. Paul Rivett is going to have to give him room there, and John Powell goes through up into 2nd place in Division 2. Good move there by John Powell. That's for 12th overall. Having a go at Simon Cole in the 41. Through Senna, up towards Brooklands. It's over 3.5 minutes of this race still to go. Here comes Paul Rivett. He's going to have a go at Simon Cole. Paul Rivett has shaken off his Division 2 rivals. He's having a go at the Division 1 truck, and he goes through into Carter's curve. There's Stuart Oliver. And these two have now got to lap Tom O'Rourke. Is he going to move out of the way? Well, move out of the way. I think he's pulling off Tom O'Rourke onto the grass, so his race could be over. Unless that was an extreme bit of moving out of the way, he decided to move onto the grass to let everybody through. But I think that could be a retirement. There's a black and white flag being shown, I noticed there behind the timing tower. That's the driving standards flag for somebody. Let's see who it was for. Yes, Tom O'Rourke into retirement in the 86. That will put him to the back of the Division 1 grid, along with Michael Oliver and Ricky Collett, are already out of the race for race number 2. Race number 3, I should say, because race 2, the grid is set by the 2nd fastest time in the qualifying session. It's going to be a win for flying Ryan Smith. Stuart Oliver tried his hardest, but the back marker traffic making something of a difference, and Ryan Smith is heading for his 4th win of the season in 2 weekends, picking up exactly where he left off at Brands Hatch. The 7-time champion, flying Ryan Smith, comes in to take the victory. 2nd place will go to Stuart Oliver. They are well ahead of the rest, separated by 3.7 seconds at the line. Stephen Powell holding on for 3rd ahead of David Jenkins. He held off his fellow MAN pilot all the way. Bradley Smith a good 5th, and Jock Borthwick will just hold off Craig Reed for 6th place. They had a good fight in the closing stages, 0.3 of a second apart. Oh, we've had a bit of an off there for Craig Evans on the last lap. He's making a bit of a habit of that, unfortunately. Meanwhile, in Division 2, a power sliding Kurt Goranson style finish for Adam Bint. He takes the win in Division 2 in our first race of the weekend. That's his 4th win of the season. Who's going to be home in 2nd? It should be Paul Rivett. Yes, there he is, just lapping Jim Bennett. Paul Rivett 2nd in Division 2. John Powell is 3rd. Craig Evans 4th. The final finisher in Division 2 will be Jim Bennett. Here's what happened to Craig Evans in the closing stages there, was attacking John Powell. He nearly attacked him well and truly. Big lock up there into Brooklands, ran out wide. Let's confirm the results of that one then. Ryan Smith the winner by 3.7 seconds over Stuart Oliver. Stephen Powell in 3rd place, and David Jenkins just behind him. Bradley Smith completing the top 5 ahead of Jock Borthwick, then the Reed brothers and Simon Faulkner completing the top 9 overall. Then we had the Division 2 runners with Adam Bint beating Paul Rivett by over 12 seconds. John Powell taking 3rd place, then Craig Evans and Jim Bennett completing the 5 finishers in Division 2. Fastest lap of the race going to Ryan Smith, 1 minute 10.91. And there were only those 14 finishers. Simon Cole was a late retirement. Tom O'Rourke we lost, as we saw, and Michael Oliver and Ricky Collett victims of the early pile-up.
So, Ryan Smith, you're looking a bit warm there. I take it it's hot in that cab?
Oh, it was plain sailing up until I hit somebody's diesel, and it fired me off, and I just got back on in front of Stuart. That was pivotal, really important. We just had enough gap. So when you're leading, the only downside to leading is you're the first to hit anything on the track, and we hit the diesel. But wanted to say thank you to my team. They worked so hard, Still not found the problem, but I'm not letting it kill the buzz.
I've noticed it's not affected you too much, still putting some great lap times in there.
Yeah, and it was just about management and keeping an eye where Stuart was. But when I hit the diesel, got back on, I had to change my strategy for the line for 3 or 4 laps.
Of course.
Stuart could risk it. So he held on to me for a little bit, but no, honestly delighted with that.
Mr. Powell, look at this hat, sir. 3rd place.
You don't get many of them.
It's a typo.
It's a typo.
Yeah, at least it's typo something. You know what I mean? I would like to say before we go any further, I've got to say a big congratulations to my man Dory, who's on our team. Can't be here this weekend because he was due a baby, and he's literally had it as we was going around the track.
Whoa!
So he's just had a baby boy today. So
You're going to call it
congratulations,
Steve
Dory.
then, right?
I think he's going to call it Leo after the other one.
So you've caught a 3rd place, first race of the weekend. Well done. And also, we've had a baby born during the race as well.
Not here, he's in a hospital.
Not here, obviously, at a hospital. Yeah, that'd be weird.
Caravan's on that thingy yet.
I mean, you never know. It hasn't happened yet. Well, they say there ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind. We certainly saw that from race 1 into race 2 of the weekend now. Let's hope they can behave themselves.
Let's have a look at the grid then for our second truck race of the day. Stuart Oliver, the 10 times champion, on pole in the Volvo by 1,000th of a second ahead of the 7 times champion Ryan Smith in the Daimler Freightliner. David Jenkins and Stephen Powell resuming their battle on the second row of the grid. Row 3, Simon Reed in the Iveco alongside Bradley Smith in the 46. 4th row of the grid, Jock Borthwick in number 32, displaying the My Name's Doddy colours alongside 68 Craig Reed in his Iveco. And on row 5, Tom O'Rourke failed to finish race 1, will start alongside number 12 of Michael Oliver. 6th row of the grid, 95 Ricky Collett and number 92 Simon Faulkner. And then behind them, Simon Cole, number 41, and John Bowler in the number 14. Just making sure they're all there. John Bowler is there, number 14. I didn't see Tom O'Rourke, so we'll wait and confirm that in a moment. Division 2, meanwhile, John Powell, number 6, is on pole alongside the 5 of Adam Bint, our winner earlier on. Row 12 is number 10, Craig Evans, and 22, Paul Rivette, and Jim Bennett, number 28, completing the grid. Tension beginning to mount then ahead of race number 2 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Stuart Oliver, Ryan Smith, David Jenkins, Stephen Powell, Simon Reed, Bradley Smith, Jock Borthwick, Craig Reed, there's Michael Oliver. 15 minutes about to get underway then from the rolling start. They thunder down towards Hatchett's Hairpin for the first time. Here we go with race 2 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. Ryan Smith tries to cut across, but Stuart Oliver's got the inside line. Stephen Powell gives it a banzai move down the outside. He tried that in race 1 as well. Division 1 make their way through already. Division 2 overlapping with them. Adam Bint's got a good start up the inside there, side by side with Ricky Collett in the Division 1 MAN number 95. It's Stuart Oliver who leads from Ryan Smith. Stephen Powell in 3rd place, trying to hold off David Jenkins. He's having to go at Ryan Smith for 2nd place. Adam Bint proving he can run with Division 1 once again. John Bowler's dropped back a little in the 14. They head up towards Senna for the first time. Stephen Powell gets the tighter line, trying to attack Ryan Smith. Jenkins in 4th, then Simon Reed rounds out the top 5. Jim Bennett at the back of the field in the 28. Craig Evans under fire from Paul Rivette, who hasn't got the best of starts here in Division 2. He's dropped back a place or 2. There's John Bowler in there, the number 14, battling with his old Division 2 rivals. Up towards the completion of lap number 1 then. Adam Bint already up there with Division 1. Here comes Ricky Collett barrelling down the inside, retakes the rather cheeky Division 2 leader, taking on the more powerful machines. So the right-hander Hatchett's Hairpin. This is allowing Powell to escape in 3rd place. Bradley Smith in 6th position, holding back Michael Oliver. Had a crash-filled season last year, the younger of the Oliver family. Enjoying better fortunes so far this season. Ryan Smith to the inside, takes the lead. And not often we see moves made there at the crossing. That's a good move by Ryan Smith. He's taken Stuart Oliver. I think Stuart rather caught by surprise there as well, just throwing it up the inside there. Flying Ryan. He's already got the fastest lap of the race, 1:11.351, and now watch that Daimler Freightliner start to escape. Once again, no stopping Ryan Smith here at Pembrey. Powell is in 3rd place. Then we've got David Jenkins. He's coming under fire from Reed again. We ride on board with Jock Borthwick. See the driving style here from Jock. One hand on the wheel, the other hand working the gear change. Make it into almost an art form, these truck racers, incredibly skilled drivers. Jock Borthwick at the back of this group, chasing Michael Oliver. A bit of smoke there from David Jenkins. Looks like he's in trouble. Yeah, quite a lot of smoke there. David Jenkins with problems. Now, I think that's engine smoke. Is that tyre or engine smoke? There is damage to the tyre, look. He's been hit by Simon Reed. There's damage to the front of Simon's truck, so David Jenkins is going to have to pull in. They won't let him continue while he's emitting that amount of smoke. He's going to have to be pulled in, unfortunately, David Jenkins. There's problems there for the 69 MAN. He's laying a James Bond-style smoke screen, and Simon Reed spins out. Now, was that on oil from David Jenkins' truck, I wonder? Simon won't be too happy there. He spins out. That's 5th place gone. That's allowed Bradley Smith up to 5th. You can see it's the rear tyre is punctured on Jenkins' truck as well. That's causing some of the smoke, but I think there's engine smoke there as well. There must have been contact between the two of them. Simon Reed gets going again, or does he? He's on the grass. Now, was that spin because of damage to the truck? I'm not sure. There's David Jenkins, and he's dropping back now. He's lost out to Bradley Smith. He's lost out to Michael Oliver. They're lapping Jim Bennett. Gentleman Jim moves aside, lets them through. There's Ricky Collett in the background as well behind this group. David Jenkins at least electing to try and keep going to pick up a few points. Meanwhile, we haven't forgotten Division 2. It's still Adam Bint leading Division 2. In the battle for second between John Powell and Paul Rivett. Here comes the Napa Auto Parts.eu MAN on the tail of the DAF. Meanwhile, Craig Reed's having a good go at Jock Borthwick here. He has a look on the inside at the hairpin. He's got the tighter line. But Borthwick will get the power down on that outside line as they come up to the right at Spitfires. I think Craig Reed might have got the move done. Indeed, he has. Good driving there by Craig Reed up into 7th position, and they're catching David Jenkins' damaged truck as well. Into the closing stages now. Is John Powell going to be able to catch Adam Bint? Paul Rivett up the inside, he takes John Powell. So the answer is no, John Powell is not going to be able to catch Adam Bint. Craig Evans having a go as well. Is John Powell in trouble here, possibly? Because they've reeled him in, these two. Craig Evans is going to have a go here as well. Ryan Smith out towards Senna for the last time. It's going to be 2 out of 2 for the 7 times champion. And Collett up the inside into the hairpin. He goes through and loses it. David Jenkins back up the inside. He's hit whatever fluid there is down there. I think Ricky Collett will be cursing that, because if he'd stayed ahead for 8th place, that would give him pole position for tomorrow's second race. Here comes Ryan Smith. It's going to be 2 out of 2 for the reigning 7-time champion. He's done the fastest lap of the race, 1:11.345, took the lead a couple of laps in at the crossing from Stuart Oliver and takes his second win. Oliver will come over for 2nd place. Bits of rubber showering everywhere as they go towards the pit wall. Stephen Powell, 3rd place. And meanwhile in Division 2, it's going to be another win for that menacing black Volvo Aerodyne of Adam Bint. He's clear of Paul Rivett in 2nd in the division. Meanwhile, Bradley Smith, an excellent 4th in Division 1. 5th goes to Michael Oliver. Good result for him as well. Craig Reed 6th, Jock Borthwick 7th. Now, is David Jenkins going to hang on for 8th? I think he is. Still a battle between Craig Evans and John Powell. John Powell with a problem there towards the end because he's dropped behind Evans as well now. Over the line goes Simon Faulkner, and here comes Adam Bint. He weaves his way over to the pit wall, takes another win in Division 2. That'll extend his championship lead. Paul Rivett 2nd in Division 2. Then Craig Evans. John Powell slowing in the closing stages. Jim Bennett a lap down, 5th in Division 2. We lost John Bowler into the pits, and we lost Simon Reed as well, 3 laps from home. So Smith ahead of Oliver and Powell once again. Stephen Powell another 4.5 seconds back in that 3rd place in the end. 4th place going to Bradley Smith. Great result for him, just ahead of Michael Oliver. Craig Reed 6th after passing Jock Borthwick, and Ricky Collett did cross the line in 8th place. He did get ahead of David Jenkins, so provisionally Ricky Collett will be on the front row of the race with Jock Borthwick for race 4 tomorrow. David Jenkins, damage to his truck, he had to settle for 9th place, and Simon Faulkner completing the top 10. Then we've got the Division 2 runners. Adam Bint taking the win in that class by 3.78 seconds ahead of Paul Rivett. Craig Evans in 3rd ahead of John Powell, who was struggling in the closing stages, and Jim Bennett completing the finishes. Simon Reed pulled off, and John Bowler made the start this time, but pulled into the pits after a few laps.
delighted with that.
It was a clean undertake, I'll give you that. I mean, we watched it happen with a bit of a squeak of the tyre. All of a sudden, you were past him.
He just went a little bit hot into turn 2, and I knew I could line him up through 3 and 4. Like I say, we'll go. Like I say, you're gonna get one chance at Stewart, and you're not gonna get many chances.
You needed that bit, didn't you?
Yeah. But I'm more delighted from our point, from how the team's work, the problems we've had. You know, we never try and make excuses because everybody's got the same, but delighted, honestly.
Even more action from race 2 there to finish up the day. But what's going to happen next in race 3?
So the Martin Oliver Transport MAN pulls into position. Let's have a look at the grid then. It is the Reed brothers on the front row of the grid. Simon on pole, Craig alongside the 2 Reed Freight Ivicos. Second row is Jock Borthwick in his MAN alongside Bradley Smith, the youngest man in the championship, in truck number 46. Row 3, number 69, David Jenkins. Bit of contact rather hobbled him in race 2 yesterday, but the MAN is repaired alongside Stephen Powell, the former Division 2 champion, in number 3. A pair of third places for him so far this weekend. Then the 2 men with 17 championships between them. Stuart Oliver in the Volvo, Ryan Smith in the Daimler Freightliner. They start on row 4. They won't stay back there for long. Row 5 is number 92, Simon Faulkner with his Iveco, and we should have Simon Cole in his MAN. He missed race 2 yesterday, so I'll make sure that he is there. Row 6, number 86, another Scotsman, Tom O'Rourke with his MV Commercials MAN. Although Michael Oliver is lined up there on the inside, I can see, with the GT Tyres MAN number 12, so we might be missing Tom O'Rourke, unfortunately. We'll check that. Ricky Collett's there, though, number 95 with his MAN. Great to see Ricky's back out after blowing his engine up in spectacular fashion at Brands Hatch last time out on Easter weekend. And he starts alongside number 14, John Bowler. As we heard from Pointy, a lot of clutch problems with his MAN this weekend. He failed to start race 1 yesterday, retired from race 2. So hopefully he's going to last the distance this time. Then there's a gap, and then we've got the less powerful Division 2 trucks. Slightly less modification allowed in Division 2. Craig Evans with his MAN will lead them off alongside John Powell, number 6 in his DAF, one of the oldest trucks out there in the series. Paul Rivette, the former saloon car racing star in the Napa Auto Parts MAN, will start alongside double winner in Division 2 yesterday, Adam Bint, in his Volvo White Aerodyne. Maybe called a Volvo White after the American company that had the partnership with Volvo, but it's in a very menacing black livery. And at the back of the grid, Jim Bennett with his venerable Seddon Atkinson. Smith with work to do from 8th on the grid. Bint starts 4th in Division 2. And here we go, the Reed brothers lead them up towards the red lights. When they go out, the power will come on, and we'll be underway. Here we go then, with race 3 of the weekend for the British Truck Racing Championship. It's the identical Iveco pairing that lead the way. Craig Reed's going to go round the outside of his brother Simon to take the lead into the first corner. Bradley Smith sends it down the outside, so does David Jenkins. They make their way through the hairpin. Tom O'Rourke is there, my apologies. I missed the 86 truck there on the green flag lap, but Tom and his team have made it back out. That's great to see. Craig Evans already being shuffled back in Division 2. Adam Bint with a flying start in the number 5 Volvo. Stuart Oliver up with David Jenkins, goes a bit wide through the crossing. Stephen Powell is on his tail. You won't fit side by side through there. Ryan Smith in behind them, just ahead of O'Rourke and John Bowler. The leaders head out onto the back of the circuit. The Reeds lead the way. Bradley Smith in 3rd. Jock Borthwick, David Jenkins, Stuart Oliver, Stephen Powell. There's O'Rourke, the white and red MV Commercials truck. We're on board with Ryan Smith in the number 1, giving chase to Stephen Powell, the man from Kent, in number 3. Ryan Smith based in Nottinghamshire. His truck recently displayed at the showroom of his sponsors, Northside Truck and Van. Tricky circuit to pass on is Pembrey. Not the widest in truck racing. They make 2 visits a year here to South Wales. There's Ryan Smith on the tail of the number 3 of Powell. There's O'Rourke, John Bowler having a better run in this one. Michael Oliver, son of Stewart's, and then Ricky Collett. Now Ryan Smith's got a run on the inside. If there's one driver who can pass at Pembrey, it's Ryan Smith, and he goes through past Stephen Powell up into 7th position. His next targets are Stuart Oliver and David Jenkins. Jock Borthwick, though, has dropped back there. He ran wide at Brooklands, lost a couple of places in the number 32 MAN. Ryan Smith may well get alongside the Scotsman down the front straights. Reed's lead over the line. Craig still ahead of Simon. David Jenkins does the fastest lap. No, he doesn't. That's usurped by Ryan Smith in 7th place. 1:11.673, and he's up the inside of Jock Borthwick into the hairpin. 7 times champion passes the Scots. Craig Reed still leads though, half a second ahead of his brother Simon. They I think are working together to get away from the rest of the field, build up a gap before the quicker runners, i.e. these 3 come through. Bradley Smith is still in 3rd place in his MAN. Stuart Oliver, a bit of a slide there. Was there a tap from Ryan Smith? I'm not sure. Stuart Oliver tries to hold the inside, but Ryan goes through and up into 5th position. There are the Reeds. Bradley Smith, David Jenkins is Ryan Smith's next target. Here come the brothers, and Jock Borthwick's wide on the grass again in the background. So was Stephen Powell sliding wide there. Now, are the Reeds working together, or are they going to start fighting each other? A family tie is going to be ditched here between the 2 Iveco pilots. They are exactly alike, these 2 trucks, aren't they, in every detail. I think Simon's going to try and go for the lead as they come down the straight. Simon failed to finish race 2 yesterday, so he needs to make up some points, and he's going for it into the hairpin, and he passes Craig to take the lead. We haven't forgotten Division 2 either. We caught a glimpse there of Adam Bintz, the Division 2 leader. He's ahead of John Powell in the number 6, but only just. Paul Rivette in 3rd place ahead of Craig Evans. Simon Reed has taken up the lead then, looking for his first win of the season. There's the battle in Division 2, and John Powell's got through on the hairpin. John Powell takes the lead from Adam Bintz in Division 2. They were very close as they crossed the line. It's John Powell in the DAF, one of the older trucks in the series, that leads the way. David Jenkins catching up. They're already lapping Jim Bennett, and Ryan Smith is now catching Jenkins for 3rd place. They are deadly rivals, these 2. 2011 champion David Jenkins. Where is Ryan Smith going to try and make his move? Is it going to be on Speedway Straights coming out of Brooklands up to Carter's Curve? On board with Ryan Smith. He's trying to line up David Jenkins. He's moving to the inside. Jenkins giving him room. Side by side towards Carter's Curve. He's going through. Ryan Smith up into 3rd place. Good driving by Jenkins there. Just gave his rival room to get through on the inside. Jim Bennett gets the blue flag from the marshals to warn him that there's quicker trucks behind him. Jim, a very courteous racer, known as Gentleman Jim. He moves aside, lets the quicker runners through. Meanwhile, Ryan Smith up the inside is going for 2nd place. On the inside of Craig Reed into the hairpin, he goes through. Can anyone stop Ryan Smith this weekend? Let's see if Simon Reed can. His lead gap was 1.7 seconds at the line that time through. Ryan Smith has got the fastest lap of the race, 1:10.9. He's the only driver to have lapped under 1:11 in this race. Change for 2nd place in Division 2. Paul Rivette has got through. Adam Bintz is struggling a bit in this one. Here's a replay of Paul Rivette's move on Adam Bintz, and well, that might be why Adam Bintz's handling's a bit off. Rubbing's racing, as they say, and they were certainly rubbing there with Paul Rivette. Meanwhile, here are our leaders, and now Ryan Smith is right with Simon Reed. I knew it wouldn't be long. He's on his tail as they come up to Carter's, and now Simon Reed is working to defend. We're on board with the 7 times champion Fly-In Ryan. Now, where is he going to make his move? They're coming up through Honda Curve and into the Cowell Straight, past the pits. Here he comes. He's on the inside. Surely Simon Reed's going to have to cede to the champion here. He gives him room into the hairpin, and through goes Ryan Smith into the lead for the 3rd time this weekend. David Jenkins trying to get the MAN onto the podium. He knows he needs to make up ground. He's never going to get stopped in time there, is he? Slides it round the hairpin. He's done it. I can't remember seeing an overtake round the outside of the hairpin in cars, never mind in a truck. That's incredible from David Jenkins. How's he done that? Well, maybe it's David Jenkins who's going to be driving in the truck drifting display, the way he threw it round there. Meanwhile, Ricky Collett's now having a go at Tom O'Rourke, but that's the move of the season so far from David Jenkins. I wouldn't have believed that possible, getting a truck round the outside on Hatchett's hairpin. How has he done that? Paul Rivette's defending now from Adam Bintz, who's back on the pace in Division 2 in the Volvo. John Powell's been able to pull away, though. He's going to take his first class win of the weekend and end Adam Bintz's hope of a hat-trick. No stopping. Fly-In Ryan Smith here at Pembrey this weekend. He takes the checkered flag. Stuart Oliver a lap down, so Simon Reed will come over in second. David Jenkins, with the move of the season so far, takes third. Still the battle going on for second in Division 2. Paul Rivett and Adam Bint together. Fourth goes to Craig Reed. Fifth is Bradley Smith, then Jock Borthwick, Stephen Powell, Michael Oliver. That'll give him pole position for race 5. Tom O'Rourke holds off Ricky Collett for 9th place. John Bowler will get his first finish of the weekend in 11th. And Division 2 is going to be won by John Powell in the DAF number 6. Here he comes over the line. John Powell wins Division 2. Paul Rivett will just hold off Adam Bint for 2nd place. Craig Evans is 4th in behind Simon Faulkner there, who's 12th in Division 1. Stuart Oliver finishes a lap down, as does Jim Bennett. Ryan Smith with the win from 8th on the grid, fastest lap as well. 2nd place for Simon Reed, some 4.5 seconds in arrears, and David Jenkins completing the podium. Craig Reed in 4th, ahead of Bradley Smith. Good result for Jock Borthwick up there in 6th in his MAN, ahead of Stephen Powell, Michael Oliver. Tom O'Rourke had to settle for 9th, ahead of Ricky Collett. Good battle between those two. John Bowler gets his first finish of the weekend in 11th. Division 2 won by John Powell in 12th place, ahead of Paul Rivett, who just held off Adam Bint at the line for 2nd in class. Behind them were Simon Faulkner, Craig Evans. Stuart Oliver, after his pit visit, finished down in 17th place, last of the Division 1 runners. He'll start at the back of the Division 1 grid for race 5, and Jim Bennett completing the finishes.
So that was some interesting racing. Fantastic result for you, though.
Yeah, great result for my boys that stuck with me yesterday. We had a difficult day, we're trying different things. Ultimately, we ended up not fast enough yesterday afternoon. That got us in that unfortunate battle that got the damage. And the boys really dug in last night. And I did promise 1 or 2 of them beer, but they didn't get hardly any till 10 o'clock last night. So, no, they worked really hard. And from morning warm-up this morning, we knew we got a better truck underneath us. And now I can race it, so I'm really happy.
Well, that's the kind of racing we like to see, but quite a subdued display from the British Truck Racing there. Let's see what we've got left in them for Truck Race 4 of the weekend.
Let's have a look at the grid then for our 4th truck race of the weekend. The top 8 reversed from race 2 yesterday, so it's Ricky Collett who is on pole in the MAN as the DAF Pace truck leads them away. Alongside him is Jock Borthwick, number 32, Craig Reed, and the man we've just heard from, Michael Oliver, on the 2nd row of the grid. And it's Bradley Smith and Stephen Powell on row 3, and then Stuart Oliver and Ryan Smith on row 4. David Jenkins down on row 5. He only managed 9th with some damage to his truck yesterday. Starts alongside Simon Faulkner. And then on the 6th row of the grid, Simon Reed alongside John Bowler. 7th row, completing Division 1, Tom O'Rourke, and no Simon Cole, unfortunately, after some problems earlier in the weekend. And there's a gap, and we've got the Division 2 trucks. They are headed up by John Powell and Craig Evans. Paul Rivett and Adam Bint on their 2nd row. Jim Bennett again electing to start from the back. Race 4 for the trucks here at Convoy Cymru. The DAF Pace truck in pit lane. Power about to come on. Here we go with race number 4 down towards Hatchett's Hairpin. Ricky Collett and Jock Borthwick lead them off. Michael Oliver and Craig Reed tucked in behind. There's been some contact already in there. Oh my goodness, big contact further back. David Jenkins involved. We've got a tyre leading the Division 2 pack. Who does that belong to? Paul Rivett's been damaged. Well, there was all sorts of mayhem in the pack there. Rivett's got going again, but there are several trucks, I would think, with damage in there. A great cloud of smoke as they piled into each other. There's debris all over Hatchett's Hairpin as well. Now, who's got the lead? Looks like it's Jock Borthwick who's gone to the front. I think that's the first time he's led a Division 1 race. Ricky Collett in 2nd place, then Stephen Powell. Well, there was so much going on there. We'll try and get a replay of that. Ryan Smith's got damage. Ryan Smith has hit somebody. Didn't see who it was, but we'll pick up some replays hopefully in a moment. Craig Evans is involved there as well. Looks like he's got a puncture on the right front. That's the end of Craig Evans' race. Let's have a look again at the start of that race. Look in the middle of the grid there. Yes, there's the contact, David Jenkins and a couple of others. There goes the tyre. That tyre flew over the top of Adam Bint. Look at the state of Adam Bint's truck. So it was his tyre that came off and flew over his own truck. Ryan Smith up the inside on Ricky Collett. He's already got past Craig Reed. He now takes 2nd place. And now it's surely only a matter of time before he catches Jock Borthwick. Ryan Smith this weekend is becoming the Max Verstappen of truck racing. Somebody spun out there. on the right. That looked like John Bowler. I caught a glimpse of there on the grass on the right of the exit of the hairpin. I think that was John Bowler. Pick that up in a moment, because the Division 2 field is still fighting out. They're catching Simon Faulkner. But meantime, Ryan Smith has caught Jock Borthwick. And surely he's going to get him on the straight here. Down into the hairpin. Borthwick's got damage as well. Are there any trucks in this field that aren't missing a bit of bodywork after that start? Coming into the pit straight, Ryan Smith goes for the inside. Surely he's going to go through into the hairpin. Here he comes. They think it's all over. It is now. We haven't even reached half distance this time, and Ryan Smith's into the lead. And still they're at it in Division 2. John Powell trying to take second place back again. I don't think he'll get round the outside at Senna into Brooklands. Yeah, Rivette will be on the inside for the next right at Brooklands. Keeps the place. Oh, Ryan Smith's out. What's happened? Ryan Smith's pulled up at Honda Curve. Now, this is going to change things, because the 4 out of 4 has gone. It's Jock Borthwick back in the lead. Now, could he take his first Division 1 win? There's 6 minutes of the race to go. I don't know what happened to Ryan Smith there, whether he slid off or whether something's failed on the truck. We didn't see. But he's out of this race. So it's Jock Borthwick, Ricky Collett, Craig Reed, and here comes Stuart Oliver. Now, Stuart Oliver will see Ryan Smith's out of the race. They're still at it in Division 2, meanwhile. You can't keep these two away from each other. Look at the way Paul Rivette's going, and he shoves his way past Adam Bint into the lead, looking for his first class win of the season. There was contact between the two of them there. And here comes John Powell. He's going to try and do the same thing up the inside. Bash! Goodness me. Oh, it's getting rough in Division 2. Adam Bint's not happy there. So a bit of needle creeping into play in Division 2. Meanwhile, Stuart Oliver is up into third place. He's got ahead of Craig Reed. Now, Stuart Oliver, as we say, will see that Ryan Smith's out of the race. And now he is on the attack. He attacks, well, he's really attacked Ricky Collett. They go off. What else can happen in this race? This is more like stock car racing than truck racing. Stuart Oliver on the tail of Bradley Smith for fourth place. Stuart Oliver tried the attack on Ricky Collett here at Spitfires. They went sliding wide. These two are rubbing now. As Oliver tries to get the Volvo up alongside the MN. He's gone round the outside into DeBenny. Good move by Stuart. The 10 times champion, 1-time European champion as well. His son Michael Oliver's going to follow him through as well in his MAN, the 2 GT tyres trucks. Now trying to catch Stephen Powell for third place, looking for another podium. It's been a good consistent weekend for Stephen Powell. But it's Jock Borthwick out in front. Stephen Powell in third place. Stuart Oliver's on a charge though. Now he's getting back into contention for a podium. He's on the tail of Stephen Powell in the MAN. He'll go for the inside down the pit straights. Still Jock Borthwick leads. Stuart Oliver, you can see he's fired up. Goes through at Honda Curve, up into third position. Now trying to go after the two leaders. The lead gap is down to 1.2 seconds. Can Jock Borthwick hold on for his first ever Division 1 win? Stephen Powell will try to fight back for another podium. Craig Reed sees close the gap on our leader. Well, after all the chaos in this race, we're in for a tense finish here, out of the crossing. Craig Reed's red Iveco looming larger in the mirrors of the white MAN. Little bit sideways there out of Senna. He's got to start to defend now, Jock Borthwick, as they come up into Speedway straight for the last time. Craig Reed is right with him. He's going to have a look on the inside. Borthwick moves to defend. This is going to be close. Stephen Powell's on the grass in the background. Stuart Oliver's almost with the leaders now. Here they come towards the line. Jock Borthwick defending from Craig Reed. Here comes Stuart Oliver. Look at the way Oliver's closing. He could get alongside these two. Three of them line astern up towards the checkered flag, and Reed is pushing Jock Borthwick. The checkered flag is inside. They're going to finish side by side across the line. Borthwick holds it. Borthwick's done it. The three of them covered by 0.3 of a second. What a finish. What an amazing recovery by Stuart Oliver. What a great run by Craig Reed. But Jock Borthwick is the hero of the hour. It's Scotland the Brave here in Wales. Jock Borthwick takes provisionally his first ever Division 1 victory. And there's going to be a first-time winner this season in Division 2 as well. Paul Rivets in the Napa Auto Parts MAN is coming home to win Division 2. What an extraordinary race. 0.3 of a second covering the top three at the line. Jock Borthwick power slides the MAN in celebration. But what a recovery there by Stuart Oliver. Jock Borthwick the winner by 0.289 of a second from Craig Reed. Stuart Oliver in third place. They were covered by 0.313 of a second. Oliver 24 thousandths of a second off Craig Reed as they crossed the line. Fourth place eventually going to Michael Oliver after Stephen Powell slid wide on the last lap. Bradley Smith in sixth place ahead of Ricky Collett. John Bowler, good result for him in eighth place after his problems earlier in the weekend. Then Tom O'Rourke. David Jenkins struggling after that contact at the start, and Simon Faulkner in 11th. Then the Division 2 trucks. Paul Rivett taking his first class win of the season ahead of John Powell. Somehow hadn't got what was left of his Volvo home in third place. Simon Reed was next, and then Jim Bennett. We lost Ryan Smith, his first non-finish of the season, and of course Craig Evans, a casualty on the first lap.
2.4 second lead ahead of the pack for most of that race. What on earth did you do to this truck?
Nothing, mate. And my times is still the same. I'm still half a second off where I need to be.
Wow.
I'm needing.
I think at the front is where you need to be.
And I just try. I try and ignore him if I can.
Yeah.
And I just try to pace myself the best I could. And I've seen Craig chipping away, and that's the longest race. Every lap, I thought it must be the last lap this time. No, it must be and this went on for 5 laps, I think. And then eventually, and I seen Craig coming. My tyres are getting worse, and I'm just trying to bring it home. And then I missed the gear like you do coming out the straight in the back, and then Craig's right there. I thought, oh no.
Craig was right next to you on the pit straight.
I know, because I was defending into Honda in case he had a last-minute dive, so I thought he'll need to go around the long way. But because I took the inside line, obviously it's trying to oversteer coming out, and I couldn't have picked the throttle up, and Craig had the slingshot. And I'm just glad the flag was 100 yards further down, or it might have been a different result.
One more lap and we might have had a different result.
I'd have just pushed a bit harder again. I was teasing him.
My goodness, we didn't think we'd be seeing many drivers back out for the last race of the weekend, but here we are at race 5. Let's see if they can get around in one piece.
Confirmation of the grid then. Michael Oliver and Stephen Powell on the front of the grid, along with Jock Borthwick and Bradley Smith on row 2. A quartet of MANs lead the grid away. Craig Reed in the Iveco, the top non-MAN, alongside David Jenkins. Then row 4, Simon Reed and Ryan Smith. Watch for Flying Ryan. Let's see if he can make it 4 wins out of 5 this weekend. Tom O'Rourke on row 5 alongside Ricky Collett. As you said, on row 6, John Bowler will start alongside Simon Faulkner. Stuart Oliver will complete the Division 1 runners on row 7. Division 2 will be headed up by Craig Evans in the number 10 MAN, desperate for that first class win. We'll wait to see if Adam Bint has put his Volvo back together as well. I don't know how he was still cornering with almost half of one corner missing in the earlier race. They start ahead of Paul Rivett in the Napa Truck Racing number 22. John Powell in his DAF, mixed weekend for him, taking the win in race 3. And Jim Bennett, Gentleman Jim, completes the grid. Oliver and Powell on the front row. Jock Borthwick already positioning himself on the inside. Red lights go out and away we go. Super start by Jock Borthwick. Michael Oliver moving to cover as they head down towards the hairpins, and he's got to give here surely. There's a contact further back. That's Stuart Oliver. He's gone into the back of John Bowler, I think. Stuart Oliver loses the bonnet. Let's hope there's no further damage there and he's able to keep going. Everybody else has made it round the hairpin okay. That's the second time we've seen contact off the rolling start today. It's Michael Oliver who leads the way in the MAN. Bradley Smith in second. Stephen Powell made a poor start. He got forced wide at the hairpin. He's down to 5th position. Could lose 6th here to one of the Reeds. That's Craig. Yes, John Bowler's been hit there. You can see by Stuart Oliver. Damage to the back of the number 14. Clouds of smoke there. That's damage to the left rear corner. Ryan Smith trying to pass him. He does so through Senna. You can see there that's something rubbing on the tyre of the number 14. Unfortunately, that could be the end of John Bowler's race. Ryan Smith up the inside, attacking Craig Reed, really attacking him there through Senna. Craig Reed's not giving way. So he'll try again at Brooklands, Ryan Smith, and still Craig Reed hangs on the outside. Smith's got the tighter line and he goes through. Another place gain. That's clearly Ryan's favoured passing place into the right-hander at centre. Jock Borthwick under fire from David Jenkins now into the hairpin. He's not going to go around the outside this time. He's going to use the conventional line and he goes through. And that's going to allow Powell to follow him on the tighter line through into fourth. So Jock Borthwick loses 2 places to David Jenkins and Stephen Powell up into the top 4 places. And behind him now is Ryan Smith. Borthwick his next target. To the crossing. Still Bradley Smith up there in second. Yes, Ryan's got through as well past Jock Borthwick. That loss of momentum at the hairpin dropping him back. Now David Jenkins trying to chase down Bradley Smith. And into the pit lane, that was John Bowler I caught a glimpse of there. So the damage from... Did I just see that Ryan Smith has pulled off? I caught a glimpse there in the background at the crossing. Has Ryan Smith pulled over? I'm sure I saw a glimpse of that Dayglow yellow front end on the grass at the crossing. Yes, in the background there, he's slowed. Ryan Smith's in trouble again. There he is, he's slowed right down. He'll be into the pits. In fact, he's not even going to get that far. He's pulling over at Senna onto the grass. He's letting the other trucks through. Dominance of Smith and Stuart Oliver has been broken by Jock Borthwick earlier on. Tom O'Rourke, the last Scotsman to win a race, has a single win in his career. I think it was at Donington a year or 2 ago. Side by side there, Jock Borthwick and Simon Reed. Simon gets through on the inside. That's for 5th position at Brooklands. Stephen Powell still ahead of this group. Simon Reed, Jock Borthwick, Craig Reed. Here's Paul Rivett ahead of John Powell and Craig Evans. This is the battle in Division 2. Quiet weekend for Craig Evans in his MAN. Michael Oliver still leads. He's lapped Jim Bennett. David Jenkins desperately trying to get past Bradley Smith so he can go after Michael Oliver. Michael Oliver looking to make up for a disappointing 2022 season where he was involved in a number of shunts. Leads by 2.5 seconds. We're coming into the closing stages now. The closer battle is in Division 2 for the lead. For Napa and Takasys sponsored MAN. And Paul Rivett still leading, looking for win number 2 this weekend. 2 wins for Adam Bint, 1 for John Powell. After a quiet season so far and a pretty terrible 2022 where he was involved in a number of shunts, Michael Oliver, the Northumbrian driver, has led all the way. David Jenkins still trying to get past Bradley Smith for second. They're coming into Brooklands for the final time. A last lap of the weekend here at Convoy Cymru for the British Truck Racing Championship. David Jenkins slides out wide. I don't think he's going to get through now, but it is going to be a win for the number 12. Michael Oliver puts a tough spell behind him in the championship where he struggled for results. He started from pole position and has led all the way. Michael Oliver wins our last truck race of the weekend. Bradley Smith, his best ever result in second. David Jenkins third. Stephen Powell is fourth. Simon Reed fifth. MANs fill the top 4 places. Jock Borthwick will hang on for 6th. Another great defensive drive against Craig Reed and Stuart Oliver. That's the same order from the podium in race number 4 earlier on, but this time they're covered by the same margins, but for 6th, 7th and 8th. Shows the working of the reverse grid, I suppose. Ricky Collett 9th, Tom O'Rourke completes the top 10. Then should be Simon Faulkner home next, and here comes our Division 2 battle. Despite a bit of rear end damage, it's going to be Paul Rivett for the 2nd time this weekend, holding off John Powell. Rivett takes the class win by half a second. Adam Bint showboats his way home in 3rd in class, still leading the championship, I would think. Craig Evans is next, and the final finisher is Jim Bennett, a lap down. Sadly, we lost Ryan Smith and John Bowler into the pits. Michael Oliver the winner by just under 3 seconds. Bradley Smith, his best ever finish in 2nd place ahead of David Jenkins. Stephen Powell in 4th ahead of Simon Reed. And then a familiar trio from race 4 earlier on. Jock Borthwick, Craig Reed, Stuart Oliver. Covered by a little more this time, half a second covered those 3. Ricky Collett in 9th, ahead of Tom O'Rourke and Simon Faulkner, and then the Division 2 battlers. Paul Rivett taking his second class win of the day, ahead of John Powell. Adam Bint after an off recovering for 3rd, and then Craig Evans and Jim Bennett completed the finishers. We lost Ryan Smith, 3 wins and 2 retirements for him sadly, and of course we lost John Bowler as well, bad luck to him.
Michael Oliver staying in first place. We thought you were sideways. We thought, oh no, here we go again. Michael Oliver at the front, going sideways, first corner, and yet you managed to pull it back. Come on, mate, yes, get in. Come on. Oh. Was it Colombian? It was the Colombian, wasn't it?
Unbelievable.
Oh, incredible, mate, incredible. And Bradley Smith as well, that's got to feel amazing. I mean, the first big win of the season. You've got it, you've got it, obviously.
Oh, first of many, it's got to be coming.
Come on.
Oh. I'm never speechless, I'm speechless.
I know, you don't know what to do now, do you?
Christ.
I mean, right, let's go to the beginning of the race. Like I just said to everybody, we saw you getting tipped sideways coming out of corner 1. How did you hold that back in?
I don't know, I can't remember. I haven't got a clue what happened.
Right, brilliant.
I remember being on the toilet and then jumping in the wagon and then I'm here.
He's more interesting when he's losing, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Christ, sorry.
Honestly, Michael, well done, mate. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Yep, I think that's it. We've finished. We've made it through another weekend here at British Truck Racing Championships. And thank you for joining us. It's been emotional, but don't forget, we will be back at Thruxton Circuit. So we'll see you all then.